Good Life. I'm Dean Wilson. I'm so glad you've joined us. You can always go to goodlifetelevision.org where you can see all the interviews from the last year. There's been a lot of great guests, great stories, great people. So goodlifetelevision.org is where you can see them all. I'm really excited about my guest today. Joe Pasternack is with me, the head basketball coach at UC Santa Barbara, which is where we are here in Santa Barbara, California. So, Coach, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been, this will be your fourth season.
Yes.
Born and raised in New Orleans. Tell us a little bit about kind of your upbringing and your family.
Yeah, I grew up in New Orleans, go back often, not as much as I would like. Probably the biggest thing I miss is the food. The New Orleans food is unbelievable, and you know, I went to Country Day, Metairie Park Country Day in New Orleans, played high school basketball. I wasn't very good, and that's why I'm coaching now and not playing. But I love New Orleans. It's a great place.
And you grew up playing basketball. You love the game.
Yes, grew up all my life playing. When I was like in the 5th grade, I figured I wasn't going to play in the NBA, so the next best to keep with basketball was to be a coach.
Nice. You have a fascinating part of your history as I was reading about you in terms of basketball junkies and the coaching profession. You coached around, I mean, you weren't really under Lute Olson, but Lute Olson was at Arizona, of course, before Sean Miller and the legendary Bobby Knight. What was Bobby Knight like?
You know, when I was 18 years old, I went to Indiana specifically to learn under Coach Knight to be a coach. I was a student assistant for 4 years under him, took notes every single day in practice of everything he taught, and it was the best 3-credit class I could take in college every single day during practice from 2:30 to 3:30 to 4:30. And it was just an amazing experience to learn how to be successful in life, whether with discipline, loyalty, work ethic. Didn't matter what business you went into, whether you were a coach, doctor, lawyer, businessman. He really is one of the most amazing leaders of all time in anything. And so for me to be able to get that experience was awesome. On top of that, to learn the game of basketball, how to teach the game of basketball. To this day, 20 years later, I still do Bobby Knight's teaching of motion offense and our defense and how to teach the game part whole, philosophy. And so it was an amazing learning experience for me.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, what a legend. Did you get to spend any time around Lute Olson in Arizona, or was he?
I did. You know, I was at Arizona and Lute had retired, but I used to go to breakfast with him and pick his brain and just kind of learn different nuances of the game and philosophies from Lute as well.
That's wonderful. There's kind of there's a coaching fraternity, isn't there? I mean, is it kind of a network in the country in terms of coaches that develop friendships over the course of time?
Yeah, no question. You know, a lot of coaches really, especially over COVID, the past 6 months when you couldn't be with your team, a lot of Zoom calls with different coaches and just kind of picking brains of different coaches and learning different ideas and techniques and philosophies, and that's a big deal in the coaching fraternity.
Right. You got to Santa Barbara, I guess, 3+ years ago. How have you liked it in general? And I want to get into the results and kind of what's happened, but how's your family adjusting and how are you liking it?
I tell you, I've done a lot of traveling in the past, my whole lifetime. My wife as well, she's from Northern California, but for me personally, I've never been to a better place, a place that I would rather live the rest of my life than Santa Barbara. It's paradise, everybody says it, and it just has something for everybody. But for me personally, I just love it.
Yeah. I think our boys, by the way, may play a little basketball together from what I've heard. Joe, right?
Yes.
He plays on the Magic a little bit?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. DJ.
What's your son's name?
DJ.
DJ, okay,
He's the 8th grader. Right?
Yeah.
I think they played a little bit.
Yeah.
2016-17, the year before you come, UCSB wins 6 games. Your first season, they win 23, which was tied for the NCAA lead in terms of growth, percentage increase.
Yep.
Tell us about that first year and kind of what's happened since and kind of where you think you're headed.
When we took over the program, we were 6-0. there was no like projection of how many wins we could have. I don't know how to do that. You know, we really believe in honoring the process, really process driven. And when we took over in 2017, in our first meeting with our team, it was all about our culture, of how we wanted our culture to be on a day-to-day basis, our standards and our process. And we really, really emphasized every single day, honor the process. We were fortunate to get a couple recruits in that spring. Gabe Vincent, a kid on the Miami Heat, was hurt the year before. He came back for us, and lightning in a bottle, we had the biggest turnaround tied for in the NCAA history and had 23 wins. No one could have predicted that. But what it did was it gave us, I think, credibility with our players, our fans, and our future recruits that, you know, what we do works. And if you believe in us, you can come to UC Santa Barbara, get an amazing degree or a grad degree from one of the top universities in America, top 5 public university in America, live in paradise, and win a lot of basketball games.
Right.
And so from that point on, you know, it's helped us to build our program. In year 2, I think we had won 22 games. And unfortunately, in the conference semifinals, our point guard went down, DeVearl Ramsey, so it was a tough break for us for that game, and we lost that game, so we didn't make it to the championship of the Big West tournament. And then this past year, you know, we were really on a great pace, and then we had won 21 games and then got to the conference tournament and it was canceled because of COVID. But we won three straight years of 20-plus wins. It's the most wins in a 3-year span in the history of the school.
Wow.
And so we're really proud of that, but we're not satisfied. You know, we came here to win championships, go to the NCAA tournament and advance. We have a great team this year. The past 6 months has been very odd, different than any 6 months in a college basketball career, probably,
Right.
where we haven't been able to be with our players. Everything's been on Zoom. This past Monday was the first time we've been allowed in the Thunderdome. We've been practicing
Really?
on a tennis court with Dick's Sporting Goods baskets, believe it or not. So, you know, it's going to be a strange year. And, you know, with our players, we have 3 rules. Lead yourself, protect the team, and no excuses. We can't control whether we're on the tennis courts for the past 5 weeks or whether we're in the Thunderdome or if games get canceled. It's going to be a very strange year. There's a rule: if one player or coach in your organization gets COVID, the team is shut down for 14 days. So that's all over college basketball. So there are going to be a lot of canceled games and a lot of strange things. But the teams that are going to be the most successful this year will be the teams that make no excuses and are able to be flexible and deal with all the different curveballs thrown at them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really excited about our year. We have 5 seniors. We have a transfer from Oregon named Miles Norris, who transferred from Oregon. I recruited him to Arizona. We have a lot of returning players that are really great players, great people. The thing we're most proud of is this last year, for the entire year, our team had a 3.0 GPA at
Really?
UC Santa Barbara, which is unheard of in college basketball, much less at a place as prestigious academically as Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
So they're doing great on the court and off the court, and really looking forward to this year. Today actually is our first official team practice,
Oh, really?
and our first game is November 27th
At home.
at home.
Great. And well, I guess we'll see if there'll be fans allowed or not.
Yeah, you know, I think that's to be determined about fans in the stands, but either way, Jerry Pym and Jerry Fall have the video live of our games on TV.
Right. I was going to ask you about culture. I think maybe you just answered it with those three kind of mantras. But what is most important to you about the culture? I mean, I guess maybe it's those 3 statements.
Yeah,
Expand
you know,
on that.
for us, those are our 3 rules. Lead yourself, protect the team, no excuses. And we use that in, you know, lead yourself is about whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. You got to go to class, you got to be on time, you got to go to your study halls, you have to stay away from COVID parties. Don't
Right.
have parties with yourself, you got to wear a mask. That's leading yourself, because in these times it's so crazy. All these teams are getting shut down right now, and we're getting tested 2 and 3 times a week. These guys have to be very, very careful of how they act and what they do. They're not just a normal college student that can go to parties and everything else, because we say all the time, what you do to everybody on our team. And so that's really important.
That's, really important this year. You know, I grew up watching those 9 o'clock ESPN, UCSB, UNLV. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, absolutely. Big Monday.
The Running Rebels and the Thunderdome was rocking.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun to see, you know, that kind of spirit. You know, I mean, there's great spirit out there, but those were certainly great years
no question.
of UCSB basketball. And maybe you answered this as well, but kind of my last question was, what is your hope for your student athletes when they leave the program? What is, you know, if you could draw it up in terms of who they are, what they experienced, what they take away?
Yeah. You know, we have a mission statement, and it's really a vision. And the first part of it is very simple, is honor the process. Being part of our culture at UCSB basketball is going to help you be successful in life. Number two is that you graduate and you get a degree using our academic resources. Number three is that we develop you to your potential and you have an opportunity to win a championship. And then finally, fourth is that when your basketball playing career is over, that we help you with our resources that our institution has to offer, our boosters, our alumni, to get you a job in the real world where you can be successful for the rest of your life. And being under Coach Knight, that's really where I learned of helping these guys for the rest of their life. And when we recruit them, we tell them, look, this isn't a 4-year decision, a 3-year decision, 2-year decision, or a 1-year decision. Some guys come just for 1 year with grad school, grad transfers. But this is a 50-year decision, choosing UC Santa Barbara. You're going to get a degree from the number 5 public university in America. You're going to be associated with very successful people in the city of Santa Barbara, in the community, that will take care of you for the rest of your life. A great example is Leland King was my first recruit. He came as a grad transfer our first year. He was a first-team All-League guy, transfer from Nevada. He averaged like 15 points, 12 rebounds a game. He went pro, and after a couple of years, last year he called me, he said, Coach, I'm ready to go into the real world. Like, remember you promised me, like, you're going to help me for the rest of my life. And so this summer, one of our boosters set him up at UBS in Los Angeles. And the number 1 producer at UBS in Los Angeles got Leland an entry-level job, and now he's working at UBS, and his career is going to take off. And it's all because he chose UC Santa Barbara. He was successful as a basketball player. He got a grad degree from here. He got to play professional, but now he has an entree into one of the best financial firms in America.
That's fantastic.
And so if you say, like, what's my goal in life as a coach, what is my why is to prepare these guys when I have them for the rest of their life, how to be successful, how to honor the process and be self-disciplined. And then when it's time for them to get a job, that we help them get a job. That's how the best of the best programs in America do things.
Right. I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about John Thompson.
Yeah.
You know, who just passed away,
Yeah.
as did Lute Olson.
Yeah.
You know, hearing his former players talk about him was just what you just described.
Yeah.
They call him, he calls them 20 years, 30 years after they're done. And he was like that. I mean, I feel like he was kind of embodied that. And I'm sure Bobby Knight was probably the same, Coach Knight, but the players will run through a brick wall for those coaches because of the care I think that they get well beyond basketball.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's great to meet you.
Yeah.
We wish you guys a great season, and so November 27th.
Yeah.
So is that the Thanksgiving weekend probably?
Yeah.
Well, have a great season, and welcome to Santa Barbara. A little late, but thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Coach Joe Pasternack. We'll see you next time.